The market was dark, loud, and full of strange smells. Creatures from different worlds walked between cages. Some were buyers, some were sellers, and some were slaves. In one of the far corners, behind thick metal bars, sat a woman. Her skin was silver blue. Her hair fell over her face, tangled and dusty. Her eyes were glowing faintly, but she looked down, never meeting anyone's gaze. Her name was Zyra. She didn't speak. She didn't cry. She just sat still, like a statue. But inside, she was burning. She remembered her home planet, the sky full of light, the songs of her people. Now, those memories were all she had. Chains were tight around her wrists. Her ankles were bleeding. The alien guards laughed when they threw her food, cold, tasteless, and hard. She hadn't spoken in many days, maybe weeks. No one cared. No one asked. Until one day, something changed. A human entered the market. It was rare. Humans didn't come to this part of the galaxy. They were seen as dangerous, unpredictable. But this one was calm. Tall, his face showed no fear. His boots made a hard sound on the metal floor. His coat was long, and his eyes were sharp. He walked slowly, looking at each cage. Some slaves begged. Some cried. Some showed their powers, hoping to be bought. He ignored them all. Then, he reached Zyra's cage. He stopped. She didn't move. She had learned not to react. Most buyers liked it when you looked scared. So, she kept her eyes down. But then he spoke. "This one," he said. His voice was clear, cold. "I want her." The alien guard looked confused. "Her? She doesn't talk, doesn't obey. She's broken. I'll give you a better one." "I said this one," the human replied, without blinking. The guard hesitated, then laughed. "Fine. 10,000 credits." The human pulled out a small device, scanned it, and paid without a word. Within minutes, the chains were cut. Zyra was lifted to her feet. Her legs were weak. She almost fell. But the human caught her. "I can walk," she said softly, surprising herself. It was the first time she spoke in weeks. He looked at her. Good. They left the market. Many eyes followed them. Some with confusion, some with fear. He took her to his ship's mall, clean and quiet. She sat near the wall, still silent. She watched as the door closed and the engine started. "Are you hungry?" he asked. She didn't reply. He placed a tray near her warm food. Real water. Still, she didn't move. "I'm not your master," he said. "You can eat when you want. You can speak if you want. You're free now." Free. The word echoed in her mind. She had heard it before. Lies, tricks. Freedom always came with a price. Always. She watched him move to the control panel. He was focused, professional. He didn't ask her name. He didn't touch her. He didn't look at her like the others did. That made her more nervous. No chains, no orders, no fear in his eyes. What did he want? That night, she didn't sleep. She had sat with her knees up, back to the wall, eyes open. He was asleep in the pilot chair, arms crossed, breathing steady. He looked tired, older than she thought. Maybe kind. No, she couldn't trust him. Not yet. Next day, she found clean clothes in a small room. Her chains were gone. Her wounds were cleaned. There was a small mirror. She saw herself for the first time in months. She didn't look like the girl who once danced under the twin moons of Velaria. She looked like a ghost. Suddenly, he entered. "You should rest. There's a bed." She turned sharply. "Why did you buy me?" she asked, voice low and sharp. He leaned against the wall. "Because you looked like you still had fire inside you." She narrowed her eyes. "That's not a reason." He nodded. "Maybe not. But I've seen slaves who give up. You didn't. I respect that." She paused. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing," he said. "But I think you might want something from me." She didn't reply. He looked at her one last time and said, "You'll remember how to be strong again. I'll help, if you let me." Then he left. Zyra sat alone, confused, angry, curious. Who was this human? Why was he helping her? She didn't know. But deep inside her, for the first time in years, she felt a spark. Hope. The ship floated quietly through deep space. No noise, no danger. Just stars shining outside the windows, like tiny fires in a black ocean. Inside, Zyra woke up slowly. The room was warm. Soft light glowed from the ceiling. No chains, no metal walls, no cameras watching her. She sat up on the bed, confused. Was she dreaming? She touched her neck. The collar was gone. Her skin still remembered the pain. But for the first time, there was no fear. Then the door opened. The human walked in. Captain Rain. He held something in his hands, a small steaming cup. Water with herbs, he said. Good for your body. Zaira didn't move. She watched him like a wild animal watches the hunter. I didn't poison it, he said with a small smile, placing the cup on a table and stepping back. Still, she didn't touch it. You slept for 14 hours, he said. That's good. Your body needed it. Silence. Zaira looked away. Her voice came after a long pause. You should have left me there. Rain raised an eyebrow. Why? She looked at him now. Her eyes were sharp, angry. Because I don't need your kindness. I don't believe in it. Rain didn't respond right away. He sat down across the room. I don't need you to believe in me. I just need you to believe in yourself again. Zaira frowned. You don't know me. No, Rain said softly. But I've seen people like you. Fighters who forgot how to fight. Survivors who think they're broken. Zaira stood up slowly. I'm not broken, she said. I'm empty. Rain stood too, calmly. Then fill yourself again. She didn't reply. He walked to the door. Before leaving, he said one thing more. You're not my prisoner. You can leave any time. There's a pod in the back of the ship. You know how to fly, right? Zaira blinked in surprise. He continued. Or, you can stay. Rest. He'll talk, if you want. And then he was gone. For hours, Zaira sat in the room, thinking, remembering. She remembered the first time she was captured, the sound of her sister's scream, the smell of burning forests, the pain of the whip, the laughter of those who hurt her. She had stopped speaking to protect her mind. Words made her real, and real things could be broken. But now, this silence was different. Later, she stood up. She walked slowly through the ship. The halls were empty. Clean lights hummed gently. She found the control room. Rain was there, looking at a map. Where are we going? She asked. He didn't turn around. Where do you want to go? She hesitated. No one had asked her that in years. I don't know, she said finally. Rain turned now, his face serious. I came to that market looking for someone, he said. Not you, just someone to help with repairs. Zaira narrowed her eyes. Then why did you buy me? Rain looked into her eyes. Because when I saw you, I saw something familiar. I've been there, Zaira. I know what it means to lose everything. To be treated like you're nothing. She looked away. You're a soldier. I was, he said. I lost my team, saving a child from a slave camp. It cost me everything. My rank, my friends. Why did you do it? She asked. He smiled sadly. Because I couldn't not do it. Zaira was quiet for a moment. Then, softly, I had a sister. She was taken. Rain's face turned serious again. Do you want to find her? I don't know if she's alive. But if she is, Zaira nodded once. Then I want her back. Rain tapped the map. Then we start there. He zoomed in on a red star system. This place was mentioned in one of the slave logs. Might be a lead. Zaira stepped closer. That's the cursed star. Rain looked at her. You've been there? No, she said. But my people feared it. They said no one who went there ever returned. Rain smiled. Then it's exactly where we need to go. Zaira took a deep breath. For the first time in so long, she felt something strange in her chest. A small, dangerous thing. Hope. Space was quiet, but the silence near the cursed star was different. It wasn't peace. It was warning. Captain Rain's ship moved slowly now. No music, no chatter. Just the soft beep of scanners and the hum of the engines. Zaira stood in the dark viewing room, staring at the red light coming from the center of the cursed system. It wasn't just light. It was alive, pulsing like a heart. Rain entered quietly. You've been standing there for an hour, he said. Cyra didn't look at him. I remember this place, but I've never been here. Rain raised an eyebrow. That doesn't make sense, she whispered. Dreams. Visions. Since I was taken, I saw this star, glowing, calling. He walked beside her. Maybe your mind remembered something your body didn't. No, Zaira said, her voice low. This place knows me. Rain didn't laugh. He didn't question. He just nodded. Double quotes good, he said. Then let's find out why. The ship approached a hidden moon, covered in black fog. Ancient, silent. The scanners picked up something strange, a massive underground structure, buried deep inside the rock. Rain stared at the data. This isn't on any map. Of course not, Zaira said. The Valari built things to be forgotten. Rain looked at her. You never told me what you really are. Zaira looked down at her hands. A soft light moved under her skin, like fire beneath ice. I didn't remember. Until now, she said. But the memories are coming back. My people weren't just hunted. We were feared. Why? Zyra turned toward him. Because we were the last race who could speak to stars. They landed. The moon's surface was covered in ash. The sky was dark. Nothing moved, but everything felt awake. As they entered the old structure, Zyra touched the wall. Symbols lit up under her fingers. Valari language. Rain stepped back. You can read this. Zyra nodded slowly. It says, the key is pain. The path is memory. She pressed her hand to the stone. A doorway opened. Inside, the walls were covered with carvings. 1,000 faces, screaming in stone. At the center was a floating orb of light. Zyra stepped toward it. Rain grabbed her arm. Wait, what is it? She didn't answer. Her eyes glowed brighter. She touched the orb. Suddenly dash visions. Flash, a city in flames. Valari warriors falling. Ships in the sky firing down. A Sistian, crying being pulled away. Zyra screamed. Flash. Chains, needles, experiments, voices. She's one of the last. Don't kill her, steady her. Flash, a voice in the darkness. She has the key in her blood. Zyra fell back, breathing hard. Rain caught her. What did you see? He asked, voice tense. She looked at him, terrified and furious. They didn't just take me, she whispered. They were looking for something inside me. A code, a signal, something ancient. Rain helped her stand. And what about your sister? Zyra closed her eyes. She's still alive. But they used her as a test. They're trying to unlock something, a weapon. And they think I can finish it. Rain clenched his fists. We need to stop them. Zyra nodded, her voice full of quiet rage. We will, but just then, the ship's alarm screamed. Rain tapped his cum. What now? The ship replied. Incoming vessel. Small, fast, no ID. Rain narrowed his eyes. Bounty hunter, he said. Zyra looked at him. You know them. Rain's jaw tightened. Used to. He was my partner. Before I stopped playing. By the rules, outside. A sleek black ship landed on the other side of the moon. A figure stepped out, armor, sharp as knives, helmet hiding his face. He walked toward the old ruins. Slow and confident. Inside, Rain loaded his weapon. Zyra stood beside him. You can stay behind, he said. Zyra shook her head. They put me in chains. Let them feel now what I've become. Asterisk, the walls of the ancient ruin trembled. Dust floated down like ash as the bounty hunter stepped through the gates. Slow, like death in metal skin. Captain Rain stood near the doorway. Weapon raised, eyes locked on the shadow approaching. Stood behind him, her fists clenched tight, glowing softly. The light under her skin pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. Rain whispered, stay back. But Zyra's voice was cold. No, he glanced at her. Last time I hid, she said, I lost everything. The bounty hunter entered the chamber. His voice echoed, deep and filtered through his helmet. Still rescuing lost causes. Rain. Rain didn't flinch, still selling souls for credits. The man stepped forward, slowly lowering his weapon. She's wanted by 5 systems. You think you can protect her? Rain replied, I don't need to protect her. She's not the same girl they chained. At that, the bounty hunter tilted his head. No. His gaze shifted to Zyra. Then let her fight. He raised his blaster. Zyra moved. But not like a fighter. Like a storm. The power inside her erupted without warning. Not rage. Not fear. Pure. Memory. Energy surged from her skin. Blue and silver. Crackling like thunder through the air. The orb in the chamber responded, lighting up again. Humming with old Valari power. The bounty hunter fired. The bolt stopped mid-air. Frozen. Zyra. Single quotes as eyes burned gold now. With a wave of her hand. The blaster shot shattered into dust. The bounty hunter stepped back. Now alert. What? Are you? Zyra walked forward. Slow and steady. Her feet leaving glowing prints on the stone floor. I am Valari, she said. Daughter of the Skyforge. Sister to a starbound bloodline. And you. Chained the wrong woman. She lifted her hand. The walls responded. Ancient machines hidden in the stone lit up. Symbols glowed. The chamber awakened like a heart, resuming its beat after centuries of silence. The bounty hunter tried to fire. Again too late. Zyra raised her palm. A pulse of light hit him in the chest, sending him crashing back through the doorway like a toy. Rain watched in stunned silence. He had seen energy weapons. He had seen rare alien powers. But this was something else. This was a person becoming something more than flesh. Zyra stood in the center of the chamber, chest rising and falling, light dimming around her. The bounty hunter groaned from the floor. Armor cracked. Rain stepped forward, speaking gently. Zyra, it's over. She turned to him, eyes still glowing. I couldn't stop it, she said. Her voice was layered, like two people speaking in one body. It's waking up. I'm waking up. Rain nodded slowly. Then let it wake. They tied the bounty hunter and left him locked in the ship's cell. Zyra sat quietly in the cockpit, wrapped in silence. Her hands no longer glowed, but her mind was loud. She whispered, what if I hurt someone I care about? Rain looked at her. Then we'll teach you control. That's what humans do. She gave a small, tired laugh. Teach godlike power to behave. Sounds very human. Rain smiled. We've tamed stars before. She looked at him, really looked. You're not afraid of me. No, he said. I'm afraid for you. Power draws, hunters, and you're shining too bright. Now Zyra nodded slowly. Then let them come, she said. Let them all come. The ship drifted in quiet space again, far from the cursed star. But inside the ship, another storm had begun, a silent one. In Zyra's heart, she sat alone in her room, knees pulled to her chest, eyes fixed on the dark floor. She wasn't thinking about the battle. Not the bounty hunter. Not even her powers. She was thinking about the girl. She used to be the one who sang under starlight, who danced with her little sister in the skyfields of Valeria. That girl was gone, and she hated what was left. Rain stood outside her door. He had been there for several minutes. He didn't knock. He didn't speak. He waited. Finally, Zyra's voice came, soft and hollow. You can come in. He entered slowly. No weapon, no armor. Just him. Human. Quiet. Real. Zyra didn't look up. I'm dangerous now, she said. You saw what I did. I didn't even think. I just reacted. Rain sat on the floor across from her. No chair, no distance. You were defending yourself, he said. You didn't kill him. She laughed bitterly. I wanted to. Rain nodded. Sometimes I do too. Zyra looked at him now, eyes wet. You don't understand. Then tell me. She breathed deeply, voice shaking. They didn't just chain my body. They broke my mind. Every day they told me I was nothing, that no one would come, that even my sister forgot me. Rain leaned closer. Did you believe them? Yes, she whispered. For a long time, I did. She wiped her face, frustrated. And now, I can destroy ships, stop weapons, mid-air. But inside, I still feel like that same girl in a cage. Rain didn't say anything right away. Then he took something from his pocket. A small, bent piece of metal. Zyra blinked. What's that? My dog tag, he said. From my squad. The one I lost. He held it out. When we were attacked, I froze. Just for a second. That second cost lives. I blamed myself for years. I still do. Zyra stared at it. But you kept going. I had to, Rain said. Because guilt is heavy, but silence is worse. I talk. I help. I act. That's how I survive. Zyra touched the tag, gently. Her voice broke. What if I'm never whole again? Rain answered softly. Then be something new. Zyra looked at him. Something stronger. He shook his head. Something true. There was a long silence. Then Zyra moved closer, slowly. She reached for his hand, unsure. He didn't pull away. She asked, why do you care so much? You don't even know me. Rain met her eyes. Because someone once cared enough to save me, he said. And now, I choose to pass that forward. Zyra smiled just a little. Is that a human thing? Rain smiled back. It's a human choice. Later that night, Zyra stood at the front of the ship, looking out at the stars. Not afraid, not angry. Just quiet. She touched her chest and whispered to herself. I am not what they made me. I am what I choose now. Behind her, Rain approached. With a datapad, I decoded the signal from the ruin. He said. Your sister's name came up. Zyra turned sharply. She's alive. More than that, Rain said. She's in a research station. They're using her blood, trying to finish something. Zyra's voice became cold. They're building a weapon. Rain nodded. And they think she's the last piece. Zyra stepped forward, her eyes fierce. Then we break every gate, burn every chain. Rain's voice was steady. Together. Zyra looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. Together they called her a myth, a ghost, a warning from the stars. But now, they were whispering her name in fear. Zyra. Not the slave, not the weapon, but the fire that would burn the chains of the galaxy. The camera drone hovered, shaking slightly from the wind. The image wasn't perfect low light, shaky frame, distant voices, but it was real, and it spread across dark networks like wildfire. Zaira, standing before a crowd of freed aliens, injured, broken, angry, lifted her hand, glowing with soft, radiant light. I was chained, she said. Like you. She raised her voice. I was silenced like you. Her eyes flared gold. I was told I was nothing. She paused, then smiled. They were wrong. The crowd held its breath. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. And today, we rise. The crowd erupted, not just in cheers, but in something stronger. Hope. Captain Rain watched from behind, arms crossed. A young alien girl tugged his sleeve. Is she really Valari? Rain nodded. She's the last flame of a dead world. The girl looked up, eyes wide. No, not the last. Over the next few days, it began. The plan, the movement. Rain gathered soldiers, smugglers, even old enemies. Zaira trained the freed, teaching them how to control their rage, how to use it without being consumed. Ships were stolen, maps were marked, and at the center of it all stood two people who never asked to lead. One night, Zaira stood on top of a hill on the rebel planet, wind pulling at her cloak. Rain joined her. They're calling you the Starborn Flame now. Zaira sighed. That's not who I am. Maybe not, he said. But that's who they need. She turned toward him. And what do you need, Captain? Rain hesitated, then looked her in the eyes. I need you to survive this. Zaira smiled softly. Then stay close. But not everyone celebrated the rising flame. In a dark station orbiting a dying moon, a man in gold armor watched the footage. She's alive, he said. Behind him, a group of scientists worked fast, scared. Her blood is connected to the artifact, one said. Her sister's DNA is unstable. We need Zaira to activate the final sequence. The man nodded slowly. Then prepare the net, he said. Let her come. And when she does, he smiled coldly. Break her. Meanwhile, aboard Rain's ship, Zaira meditated, trying to control the growing storm inside her. Flashes of memory returned. Her sister in a white room, screaming. Machines, needles, help me, Zaira. Her eyes snapped open, glowing too bright. Rain entered. Another vision. She nodded. They're close. She's still alive. I feel her. Rain handed her a chip. We've got the location. She stood, tall and calm. No more hiding. No more running. Rain added. Zaira touched the wall of the ship. Symbols lit up under her fingers. You said humans tamed stars, she said. Rain grinned. You're not a star. Zaira raised an eyebrow. No. He looked at her proudly. You're the fire that makes stars afraid. The station hovered above a dead planet, black, silent, soulless dot inside. It was alive with machines, weapons, and fear. Zaira stood at the edge of the ship's ramp, cloak whipping behind her. Her eyes no longer full of pain now, full of purpose. Rain stepped beside her. This is it, he said. She nodded. One last cage. They entered like shadows. Zaira, Rain, and 50 rebels behind them. Corridors lit up as if the station itself felt her coming. The guards opened fire. Zaira didn't. Flinchy raised her hand. The bullets slowed, then stopped mid-air, hanging like stars. She closed her fist. They fell. Rain smirked, still showing off. Zaira replied, that wasn't me showing off. They reached the core lab doors, locked with ancient biotech. Zaira stepped forward. The door pulsed. Recognized her. It opened. Inside glass chambers, glowing wires, and her sister. Sen. She was asleep. Tubes in her arms, light flickering from her veins. Zaira ran to the glass. As she cried, hand on the chamber. Eyes opened slowly inside. Weak, but alive. Sister, she whispered. A voice echoed above. So the fire returns. The man in gold armor stepped forward, cold, confident. You brought an army, he said. But this station is my fortress. Rain aimed his weapon. You sure about that? Zaira didn't wait. She walked forward, every step shaking the room. You used us, cut us, fed off our blood. For what? To awaken the weapon beneath this station, he said. Valari blood was the key. And now, I have both sisters. Rain fired. The man caught the bolt midair, using stolen Valari tech. Zaira blinked. You experimented on yourself. He smiled. Why not? If I cannot be Valari, I will become more. The battle erupted. Rebels clashed with armored guards. Sparks flew. Explosions lit up the labs. Zyra and the commander fought like gods. Power against power, light against darkness. He struck her hard, she fell. Blood hit the floor. Rain screamed, Zyra. She looked up, vision spinning. The man raised his weapon. Then Asen's voice cut the air. Nerd shockwave burst from the chamber. The glass shattered. Asen. Roseberry standing, but glowing. Together, the sisters stood side by side. Two lights. One legacy, Zyra whispered. Let's end this. And together, they did. Later, the station was gone. Burned from the inside. What was once a prison, now a grave. Rain woke up coughing on the ship's floor. He saw her. Zyra. Wounded, limping, but alive. She helped him sit. You almost died, she said. You say that like it's a bad habit. He joked weakly. She smiled and cried. Real tears. You didn't have to follow me here. Rain looked into her eyes. I didn't follow you, he said. I chose you. As the stars turned above, and rebels celebrated in distant systems, Zyra and Rain stood alone on a quiet world. Asen healed slowly in a nearby room. Rain handed Zyra a cup of warm tea. So, what now? He asked. She looked to the horizon. I burned everything that hurt me, she said. But I don't want to be fire forever. Rain reached for her hand. Then be light. She turned to him. And you. What do you want now? Rain thought for a long moment, then whispered, a reason to stay. She smiled. You already have one. Final scene. Zyra walks barefoot on soft grass, under an alien sky. Stars above. No chains. No hunger. No fear. Just freedom. And next to her, hand in hand. And for the first time, Zyra didn't feel like a weapon. She felt wanted. She felt whole. And she whispered to the stars, I was made in fire. But he gave me desire.